Hey, good people. I hope everybody is having a great day. This week, we are going to be talking about families and relationships. And so I want to kind of get started first in really encouraging you to read through these articles for this week that are in our textbook. And I'm going to encourage you to do a couple of things. First, I want you to kind of think about the structure of your family system and consider the relationships that are in play within your personal family system. Now, you don't have to discuss your family and the structure and all that good stuff on the discussion post, but I really want you to think about some of these things as you reflect on the readings in your weekly reflective writing assignments. So, when we first start talking about families and relationships, we have to be able to acknowledge or begin to acknowledge that there's a little bit of a shift, shall we say, in the atmosphere when we talk about the modern American family and what that may look like. What that may look like based on race, ethnicity, gender, and age. When we're thinking about the shift in the family system, we also have to consider kind of how that impacts our expectations of the roles that folks may function in within the family system. What does that look like? How do we begin to work with this group of people who have come together, this primary group of people who've come together, and hopefully kind of working towards a semblance of some type of meaningful goal for the system, that family system as a whole. I need you to be mindful, good people, of one thing. When we talk about the family system, we're talking about working with an organized group of people. This group that there are several relationships functioning within this group. And so we got to think about, what do those relationships look like? Again, when we talk about it based on age, there's a video that I want you to review, and it's in regards to how we view the younger generation and their response to an unfortunate medical diagnosis that may hit some families, and it's that diagnosis of dementia or Alzheimer's. And how does the younger generation address that? I want you to think about that again when we look at the expectations of what the relationships look like. Also, when we talk about the family system, we're looking at it based on race and ethnicity. When we're looking at it based on race and ethnicity, again, what does that look like for the expectations? Again, the cultural expectations of some family systems and how they may function. Those cultural expectations as they may impact one based on gender, also someone based on uh I'm sorry, their age. I had a brain cramp there for a minute. Oh my gosh. But anyway, good people, when we're talking about the changes in the modern American family, we also need to look at gender, the impact of the LGBTQ community, and what the family system looks like today. Now, it's safe to say, that legislatively or legally speaking, our society has acknowledged same-sex marriages, and we consider that those marriages to be part of the familial system. But is that necessarily the truth culturally? Again, legislatively, legally, yes, we acknowledge it, but culturally, do we? And so some of the things I want you to consider when we think about the family system within the LGBTQ community is kind of this continued public ambivalence towards, again, the same-sex marriage. And what does that mean to the family system? We also want to look at, think about increased poverty rates within same-sex marriages. An important factor also to consider would be the children in same-sex marriages. What is the impact, and how does that impact look when we talk about same-sex couples, same-sex parents? How does that look, and how does that impact the children being raised in the family systems? Again, I want you to consider all of this as you're reading through the articles. I also have a video that I want you to watch as it pertains to a transgender couple raising children. What does the impact look like for those children? Think about all these things again as you're reading through the articles, when you're watching the videos, um, before you get ready to address these questions on the discussion post. Finally, when we talk about the family and relationships, an article that is just so interesting to me is the article on interracial marriages and the impact of interracial marriages on the family system. Now, again, good people, when we talk about the family system, we're looking at this group, that the primary group that has an end goal in sight. But we have to be mindful that the members, the initial members of this primary group, came from their own existing primary group. And how do these two groups meld together when we're talking about interracial marriages? You know that there was a legal case, the Lovings versus the state of Virginia, in looking at putting a ban against outlawing interracial marriages. There's several videos that I've posted that I really encourage you all to watch. Again, as you read through this article, consider the information that is shared in these videos. Consider some of your own experiences when you begin to think about, again, interracial marriages, the modern American family, the twist on the modern American family. And I don't know if that was fair to say when I say a twist. Do we move away from this traditional norm of the modern American family, from a heterosexual perspective, and did we embrace the same-sex perspective of the family system? Oh, y'all, this is good stuff that I'm going to encourage you to actually just think about some things as you're reading through the articles, as you're watching the videos, when you write your weekly reflective essay, and most importantly, when you're participating on the discussion post. Please be mindful that on the discussion post, we want to be as open as possible in the things that we share, but also we want to be open in receiving some of the information that our peers may share. So please be free in your comments in your initial posts. Be open when you're reading those initial posts from your peers, and also be respectful, but be free in your comments in your reply posts. I'm hoping that there's going to be some good conversation and discussion this week on the discussion post. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, y'all know how to get a hold of me. You have my contact information. All right, good people. Until I see you again, you know what I do. I bid you love, peace, and bacon grease. I'll catch y'all on a discussion post.